Hello everyone, all my dear students. In our last video lecture, we had seen the half wave rectifier. We had seen the working of this half wave rectifier, and now we have to see the examples on the half wave rectifier. We have to see how the half wave rectifier provides the output, and it provides the output when how much input voltage we apply, or you can say we have to see how much output we get according to the input applied. So here in this video lecture we will see a few examples on this half wave rectifier. But before going towards the examples on this half wave rectifier, I like to tell you in brief the working of this half wave rectifier. So this half wave rectifier uses one transformer. That transformer is we call as step down transformer. That transformer is the step down transformer, and this step down transformer having low secondary voltage than the primary voltage. Here the primary is connected to the AC main supply, and this secondary having connected to the rectifier circuit. Whatever the input voltage to the rectifier, this input voltage is given from the secondary of the transformer. We consider the two terminals of the secondary of the transformer, and these two terminals are the upper terminal is A and the lower terminal is B. The polarities of this upper terminal A and the lower terminal B depends on the half cycle available at the secondary of the transformer. If there is a positive half cycle, then the upper terminal A is positive and the lower terminal B is negative. During this positive half cycle, the diode gets in forward bias condition and the current starts flowing through the load resistor RL. That current is we call as a load current. If there is a negative half cycle, then the polarities get reversed. The lower terminal B gets positive, whereas the upper terminal A gets negative. Okay, the same diode we are using, that diode gets in reverse bias condition, and during the reverse bias the load current IL is equals to 0. So therefore output voltage is also equals to 0. It means the diode conducts when there is only a positive half cycle. During negative half cycle, the polarities of the secondary of transformer reverse, and it reverses the diode. Okay, so this is a brief description about the half wave rectifier. We have to consider some examples, then you will get a very clear idea about the working of this half wave rectifier. Okay, these are the waveforms of the half wave rectifier. Once again we move towards the half wave rectifier circuit diagram and the waveform when we see the example. Okay, so here the first example we have, and in that first example the half wave rectifier is mentioned, and in that half wave rectifier the transformer secondary voltage is 12 volts. The example is like this: in a half wave rectifier, if the transformer secondary voltage is the 12 volt, the transformer secondary voltage is the 12 volts, and the load resistance of the 100 ohm is connected. The transformer having a secondary voltage of the 12 volt and a load resistor of 100 ohm is connected. We have to calculate the VDC PIV rating of the diode and the load current IL. The transformer having the secondary voltage of the 12 volts. The load resistance of 100 ohm is connected. We have to calculate the VDC. VDC is the output voltage of the rectifier. Generally we call it as average DC output voltage. Then we have to calculate the PIV rating of the diode, and the third quantity we have to calculate. That third quantity is the load current IL. Okay, so before solving the example, I would like to apply this value at the diagram, at the circuit diagram of this half wave rectifier. The secondary voltage of the transformer is given and that secondary voltage is the 12 volt. It means in between these two terminals, in between the terminal A and terminal B, the voltage of the transformer is equals to 12 volt. Here the load resistance of 100 ohm is connected. Here is the 100 ohm. So according to these values, we have to find out what we have to find out. We have to find out the output voltage, then PIV rating of the diode, as well as we have to find out the current flowing through this load resistor RL. Okay, so first upon, we have to write down all the values, means whatever the given and what we have to find out. Okay, so here at this left hand side, I am going to write down the given values, what is given in the example. So the secondary voltage of the transformer is given and the secondary voltage of transformer is the 12 volts. It is equals to 12 volt. After that, what is given? The primary voltage is not given. Here, if you read this example, then here the primary voltage is not given and we not need the primary voltage to solve this example, this particular example. Okay, so here we write down the value of the load resistance RL, which is equals to 100 ohms. Okay, the first one is the secondary voltage and second one given value is the value of the load resistance RL. Then what is we have to find out, means what is given and what is find out, that's we have to write down. Okay, so here at left hand side we provide the given data and what we have to find out we write down at the right hand side. First we have to find out the DC output voltage VDC. Here I am going to give a question mark. Okay, then we have to find out the PIV, peak inverse voltage, PIV rating of the diode. Due to space available on this screen, I am going to write down only PIV, and after that we have to find out the load current IL. Okay, these three quantities we have to find out. If you remember the parameters of this half wave rectifier, then here the first parameter we are saying, that parameter is VDC. VDC is equals to Vp upon pi. Vp is what? Vp is the peak value of secondary of transformer. Here the secondary voltage of the transformer is given and that secondary voltage is equals to 12 volts. The secondary voltage of transformer is given and that secondary voltage is 12 volt. If you know the various values of the AC, then you can easily solve this example. But here I am going to tell you what are the AC values. If we measure the DC voltage, of a battery, then that voltage is the average voltage. That voltage is the average voltage. Suppose we have the 12 volt battery, then it is only 12 volt, not other values are available. But if we measure the AC voltage VAC, then it can be measured in various ways. The AC voltage can be measured in various ways. From that, the first one is we call as instantaneous voltage. The first one is instantaneous voltage, and this instantaneous voltage is voltage measured at a particular instant or a particular angle of the AC. If we look at the waveform of the AC, then the waveform of the AC is like this. Here is this one cycle of the AC. Here at this particular point there is an angle, that angle is the 90 degree. Okay, if we measure the voltage at a particular instant, particular angle, then that voltage of AC is we call as instantaneous voltage. Okay, if the voltage measured at the angle of 90 degree and 270 degrees, then this voltage is we call as a peak voltage or the maximum voltage. This voltage is we call as a peak voltage or the maximum voltage. If we measure the AC voltage in between the maximum two peaks, then it is we call as peak to peak voltage. This is we call as peak to peak voltage, written as VPP. It is written as the VPP, peak to peak voltage. The instantaneous voltage is VI, and this instantaneous voltage is given by VP, or instead of this you may write down VM, that is maximum voltage. Okay, VP sin theta. Theta is that particular angle. Okay, so here the AC voltage can be measured as instantaneous voltage, then it can be measured as the peak voltage, then it can be measured at peak to peak voltage. The peak voltage is measured at the angle of the 90 degree. It means we got the two peak voltages, and sum of these two peak voltages is we call as peak to peak voltage. Means the peak to peak voltage is equals to twice Vp, doubled of the peak voltage. Next one is the average voltage, VAV. The voltage, the average of the all values for the positive or the negative half cycle, that is we call average voltage. Okay, then one most important is the RMS voltage. One most important is the RMS voltage. The voltage measured at the angle of 45 degrees. The AC voltage measured at the angle of the 45 degrees, then it is we call as VRMS, RMS voltage, root mean square value of the AC voltage or AC current. These all values are also for the current and the voltages. Okay, so here the AC voltage, that may be a power line voltage or the output of the transformer, can be measured as instantaneous voltage. It can be measured as RMS voltage. It can be measured at the peak voltage, and it can be measured as peak to peak voltage, or it can be measured as a average voltage. From all this, only two values are important for us. The first one is the RMS voltage. Whatever the AC rating is given, the AC rating of the current is given, or it may be a voltage is given. For an example, suppose we are using our smartphone charger. We are using a smartphone charger, or you can say it is adapter. This smartphone charger having the input voltage rating VI is given on the smartphone. If we observe, then it should be in between 180 volts to the 270 volts, or some manufacturer may be given different than this, but it is for an example. It is given in between 180 volts to the 270 volts. What is this value? 180 or 270? It is instantaneous voltage? No. It is peak voltage? No. It is average voltage? No. It is RMS voltage. Whatever the voltmeter reads, whatever the ammeter reads, that value is the RMS value of the AC. It may be current or it may be voltage. Okay, so if the rating is given, suppose one wire we buy from the shopkeeper, then on that wires bundle there is a one rating, and that rating is maximum current rating. Maximum current rating. Suppose one wire having the maximum current of 5 ampere, then here its meaning is we can pass the 5 ampere current, RMS current through it, not the peak current. Okay. So here whatever the rating of the AC is given, that ratings are in the RMS value. That's why the RMS value is important to us. The second important value is there. That value is we call as a peak value. That value is we call a peak value. It is important for us because it indicates the maximum value of the AC which we are using or on which we are going to operate the equipments. Okay, so the peak voltage and the RMS voltage are important to us. If we look at the formula to calculate the DC output voltage VDC, it is given by Vp upon pi. It is given as Vp upon pi. The Vp is the peak voltage of secondary of the transformer. It is not the secondary voltage given of the transformer. Okay, it is the peak voltage. It is not the RMS voltage. So first upon whatever the secondary voltage is given, that secondary voltage we require to convert into the peak voltage. Then we can calculate the DC output voltage. So this peak voltage we have to find out, and the formula for this peak voltage is Vp equals to Vrms upon 0.707. It is Vrms upon 0.707. Now here if we look at this formula, then you get the new formula here, or you can use the other formula, but you calculate this other formula, you can find out that other formula by using this one formula, Vp equals to Vrms upon 0.707. You can mention that formula of finding this peak voltage by using the RMS value in the comment box if you know it. Okay, so we are using this formula to get the peak voltage. Here instead of directly writing the formulas and giving these values, here we mention one sentence here, and that sentence is the peak voltage. Here I am going to write down that sentence. The peak voltage Vp, the peak voltage Vp of secondary of transformer, is given by what is that formula? It is Vp equals to, I am going to write down at the next line, Vp equals to Vrms upon 0.707. It is Vrms upon 0.707. Okay, if you know the other one formula, then mention in the comment box. Okay, so Vp equals to Vrms upon 0.707, and here we put the values of this RMS. Okay, so the Vrms is the 12 volt. What is that Vrms? It is the secondary voltage of the transformer, that is the 12 volt. 12 divided by 0.707. Already calculated value I have, and it is 16.97 volts. You calculate your own values and tally with the given answer. Okay, now we have the peak voltage of the secondary of the transformer. We have the peak voltage of the secondary of the transformer, and now we have to calculate the other value. What is that? DC voltage of the rectifier. Okay, so what is the formula for the DC voltage? Here we use the formula for the DC voltage for the half wave rectifier. The DC voltage VDC is given by VDC equals to, what is that? Vp upon pi. In our last video lecture, we seen the formulas, various formulas we use for the calculations. So VDC equals to Vp upon pi. You can write down here the average voltage, average DC voltage is given by VDC equals to Vp upon pi, and here Vp is 16.97 volts. Vp is the 16.97. So we write down here 16.97 divided by 3.14. If we calculate it, then we get VDC equals to 5.34 volts. It is 5.34 volts. Okay, so we have to calculate the DC output voltage, and to calculate this DC output voltage we use the formula, and it is VDC equals to Vp upon pi. It is VDC equals to Vp upon pi, and if we use this value, then we get here the output voltage. That output voltage is the 5.34 volts. Now what we have to find out? We have to find out here the PIV rating of the diode. We have to find out the PIV rating of the diode. The PIV rating, what is that PIV rating? It is peak inverse voltage. In our last video lecture, we had seen the all parameters definition. So you go at this iCard button, we watch that video and then come back to solve these examples. Okay, so here we have to find out the PIV rating of the diode, peak inverse voltage, the maximum reverse voltage that can be applied at the diode when it gets in reverse bias, that can be applied at the diode without failure. That is we call peak inverse voltage. Now the PIV rating, peak inverse voltage, is given by PIV equals to Vp. For half wave rectifier, it is the Vp, because only Vp is available at the diode when it is in a reverse bias condition. So its value is equals to 16.97 volts. The diode we have to use must have the PIV rating is equals to 16.97. If the diode is having the PIV rating less than 16.97, then the diode gets failure. So to avoid the failure of the diode, we require to use this PIV rating of the diode. Okay, now the next we have to calculate, and that next one is the load current IL. The load current IL is current flowing through the load resistor RL. It is the current flowing through the load resistor RL, and it is given as VDC. It is given as IL equals to, it is given as IL equals to VDC upon RL. So VDC is how much? 5.34 divided by RL. RL is given, and the value of this RL is how much? It is equals to 100. So 5.34 divided by 100, it is equals to how much? It is equals to 53.4 milliamperes. So the load current is 53.4 milliamperes. Actually, your answer may be different from this. It may be 0.05 54 amperes. But here we have to write down the values in milliamperes which are less than the amperes. Okay, so in this way we solve this example. What we did, first we find the peak value of the secondary of the transformer, that is given as Vp equals to Vrms upon 0.707, which we calculated as 16.97. Then the secondary voltage peak value is used to calculate the VDC given by Vp upon pi, and then we calculated the PIV rating of the diode, and after that we had calculated the load current. This example may ask for the 3 marks or the 4 marks in your examinations. Okay, so here the next example we have to see, and this next example is like this. The next example is the turns ratio of the transformer used in half wave rectifier is 10:1. If we read the last example, in this last example the direct secondary voltage is given, but in this example the secondary voltage is not given. The turns ratio of the transformer is given, and by using this turns ratio of transformer and the secondary voltage, the primary voltage, we have to calculate the secondary voltage. First we read the example carefully and then we take the data from it and we write down all this data, as well as we write down what we have to find out and what we have to calculate. Okay, so here the turns ratio is given. What is given? The turns ratio of transformer is given. So that turns ratio is equals to 10:1. Turns ratio is 10:1. Then next thing is given, and that next is the AC main supply. The transformer primary is connected to AC main supply, means here the primary voltage is given, that is we call V primary 230 volts. It is 230 volt comma 50 hertz. It is 230 volt comma 50 hertz. Then the next value is given, and that value is the resistance. Which is that resistance? Load resistance RL, and this RL is equals to 100 ohm. These three values are given. These are the turns ratio, then the primary voltage, and then the load resistance RL. The given values are written at the left hand side. We have to write down the data what we have to find out. Okay, to find what to find, we require to find here the DC output voltage VDC. Then next what we have to find out? We have to find out the load current IL. Then next what we have to find out? We have to find out the PIV rating of the diode. After that we have to find out one more thing, and that thing is the ripple frequency. We denote the ripple frequency by FO, output frequency. Okay, these four things we have to find out. It means the example is asked for the 4 marks. Okay, so once you take the data from the example here, you can solve. But before solving this example, you have to recall the process. What is the first thing we have to find out? Okay, here we write down the various formulas. Here the first formula for VDC is given as VDC equals to what? Vp upon pi. VDC equals to Vp upon pi. What is this Vp? This Vp is the peak voltage of secondary of transformer. Vp is the peak voltage of secondary of transformer. It means here we have to calculate this Vp by using the formula Vrms voltage Vrms upon 0.707. The Vp we have to calculate, but in this example the Vp is not given. The Vp is the peak voltage of secondary of transformer. It is not given. We have to calculate the Vp by using the RMS value, but this RMS voltage of secondary of transformer is also not given. Means the secondary voltage of the transformer is not given. We required to calculate this secondary voltage. Then how we can calculate this secondary voltage? We can calculate the secondary voltage by using the formula. That formula is N primary NP, or you can write down N primary upon N secondary equals to V primary upon V secondary. This is the most important formula for the transformer turns ratio, or for the transformer. So the turns ratio is 10:1 equals to V primary upon V secondary. So the V secondary is equals to, if we use these values, the primary voltage is 230 volt divided by V secondary. So V secondary directly we can calculate, it is equals to 23 volts. How much? It is equals to the 23 volts. Means when the turns ratio is given in example, here it is necessary to find out the secondary voltage by using this primary voltage and the turns ratio of the transformer. So we got the secondary voltage which is equals to 23. This secondary voltage is not the peak voltage. It is not in the peak. It is in the RMS voltage. This voltage value is in RMS. Okay. So here we have to find out the peak voltage of the secondary of transformer. So once again we write down one sentence here, and that sentence is the peak voltage of secondary of transformer. Peak voltage of secondary of transformer is given by, you have to write down the complete sentence. I am going to write down in short to save your time. The peak voltage of secondary of transformer is given by Vp equals to Vrms upon 0.707, which is equals to 23 divided by 0.707. What we did? First, we calculated the secondary voltage by using the turns ratio and the primary voltage. The secondary voltage is in RMS value, so we required to calculate this peak voltage of the secondary of the transformer, and it is given by Vp equals to Vrms upon 0.707, which is calculated as 32.53 volts. Okay, this is 32.53 volts. Then next, what we have to find out? The peak voltage we calculated. We have to find out this VDC. So here VDC equals to what is the formula? Vp upon pi. Vp is what? Not the primary voltage, it is the peak voltage of secondary of the transformer. So peak voltage we calculated, and it is 32.53 divided by 3.14, and this is calculated as 10.34 volts. It is 10.34 volts. You use the same values and calculate it. Okay. Now we got the peak voltage of secondary of the transformer. Then we return the formula of this secondary voltage. then what we have to find out? We have to find out the PIV rating of the diode. So the PIV rating of the diode is equals to VP, and already the VP is calculated as 32.53 volts. Okay. After this, here one more thing we have to find out, and that thing is the load current IL. Load current IL, and IL is equals to, what is that IL? IL is the load current flowing through the load resistor. So voltage across load resistor is VDC upon the load resistance, and load resistance is the RL. So its value is VDC 10.34 divided by the RL is equals to 100. So therefore here we get the current. That current is 103.4 milliamperes. Okay, you may get, if you calculate it, then you may get the answer, that is 0.1034 amperes. We required the answers in milliamperes if our answer is less than the amperes. Okay, so here the next value we have to find out, and that next one is the ripple frequency. If we look at the example, then in example here the value of this input frequency is given. The value of the input frequency is given, and the value of input frequency is the 50 Hertz. Value of the input frequency is the 50 Hertz. For the half wave rectifier FO ripple frequency, you have to write down the complete names of the all parameters here. Then you have to start calculating. I am going to write down in short here to save your time. So don't get the short method, direct method. You write down the names of all parameters. FO equals to Fin. Now, why this FO is equals to Fin? For this, here we move towards the waveforms, and here we have the waveform. Here this is the input waveform, this one is the output waveform, this is the input wave. For one cycle of this AC, this is the one cycle. For one cycle of this AC, we get one ripple. So number of ripples for the number of cycles are same. So here, if we have the 100 Hertz frequency or 150 Hertz frequency of the AC, then we get here 150 numbers of the ripples, means the frequency of this ripple is 150 Hertz. Whatever the input frequency, we get the same frequency for the ripple. So therefore FO is equals to Fin. FO is the output frequency and Fin is the input frequency of AC, which is mentioned in the example. So here the FO is equals to Fin equals to how much? It is equals to 50 Hertz. Okay, so in this way we have to solve the example. First upon, you have to find out either the example is for the half wave rectifier or for the center tap rectifier or for the bridge wave rectifier. Generally, the name of the rectifiers are mentioned instead of making the example complicated. So after that, here you have to first find out the peak voltage of secondary of the transformer, as the value of the secondary of the transformer is given. If the value of secondary of transformer is not given, then you have to calculate it by using the primary voltage or the AC main supply voltage and the turns ratio of the transformer. Sometimes they may give the number of turns of the primary and number of turns of the secondary winding instead of the turns ratio. You can also calculate by using the same formula which we had seen earlier. The formula is N primary upon N secondary equals to N V primary upon V secondary. After that, here you calculate this peak voltage, then you calculate VDC, then you calculate PIV rating of the diode, and after that you calculate this IL and the ripple frequency. Okay, so very easy to solve the examples on the half wave rectifier. In our next video lecture, we will see how the center tap rectifier works. Okay.